Hi, Shea here. If you don't know me, I'm a wife and mom of two, and I help entrepreneurial women master their mindset and build a successful online business without sacrificing time with their loved ones so they could live their dream life. And this week, I want to talk to you about a book that I've recently read. It's called The Choice by Dr. Edith Eger, and it's everything. So normally I'm a little bit more of a fantasy reader. I prefer to read books that are not about real life as opposed to books that are about real life. But you know, this one just kind of called to me when I found it. I just recently joined my library in this town, and they do a book club of the month, right? So this is how I found the book. And that was, I think, November's book of the month. And it's all about a woman and her recounting of her, horrors in Auschwitz, and then her life going after that. And I'm not going to give it all away to you, but I do think that she just really tells it beautifully, and I think that every human being should read it. But if you are triggered, this is trigger warning right here. Do not read it if you won't be able to sleep for the rest of your life because of it. But you know, she doesn't go into the detail that much, but even just some of the passing remarks that she says, just, you know, it's the Holocaust. She was in Auschwitz. It was not pretty. And I think that today, when I'm going to be posting my post for my blog, it will be the last day of Hanukkah. I believe the first day of Hanukkah was yesterday, and that's most likely why it was the book of the month. But with Hanukkah happening right now, I do think that talking about the Holocaust is a huge, huge deal, because I think we've all kind of forgotten about it too easily or too quickly. It really wasn't that long ago when you put it into perspective. You know, growing up, and this is maybe why it hit home for me, across the street from my father's house was an old lady that my family had befriended, well, and her husband. And both of them were survivors of Holocaust. They were both prisoners of war. They both were at internment camps. And I was young when she did pass, but I remember she was just a remarkable lady. And I know that her and her husband weren't able to have children, most likely because of the abuse that they suffered in the war. And it's so important to not forget these things. And I'm going to cry just talking about it. But Dr. Edith Eger, she was about 16, I think, when she was in Auschwitz, and she talks all about that and about her family and everything that happened with them. But more than anything, she talks about everything that happened after. How did she deal with the trauma? How did she deal with life going back to normal, and coping. And I think that that's why she so beautifully named the book The Choice. And I want to talk to you about it because it's so relevant to everything that I kind of do talk about, because life's always going to be difficult. Of course, there are more difficult situations and less difficult situations, but when it comes right down to it, it's always a choice how you handle the situation. And Dr. Edith Eger did go on to become a doctor in psychology, so she definitely has a leg up on this, talking about these types of things, as opposed to myself. But she just does it so beautifully. And she talks about, as a psychologist, as a therapist, and helping other people cope with their different struggles. And the stories that she tells, while they're all maybe trivial or significant, she leaves you with an amazing impression of the human condition, and that everything is always a choice. And the first step that you really need to take is to just be more mindful of yourself and the people around you, and then make the choice to be more. She just has so much compassion, such a huge heart. And for her to keep her heart open after all the atrocities that she did go through is amazing. And I want you to read this book because I want you to take her lessons and apply it to your own life, because I can't even begin to say in words the things that she's gone through. And she made the decision to put that stuff in the past and move forward with her life. And not just move forward with her life. I mean, she is wildly successful in life in her older years, and because she had this iron will, she had this do not give up, do not give in type of spirit without being harsh or cruel or any of those things. And when you're taking these lessons and applying it to your own life, you just need to have compassion, I think, is what I'm really getting at, with yourself, with the people around you. And if you're working on your business, those struggles that you're going through, they're gonna pass. So don't get too hung up on silly little things that really just don't matter. And talking about this during the holidays is very important to me too, because everybody's got something in their lives. Everybody's got something in their families. Everybody has something that is going to make them a little sad around the holidays, in my opinion. Besides my children, who are just happy-go-lucky because they're very young. But don't forget to stay present for those moments. My kids are only 2 and 1, and these are amazing, amazing years to celebrate with my kids. And no matter what you're going through, the choice is always yours to stay stuck in the trauma, in the sadness, in the guilt, in the depression, in the anger, in the, you name it. It's your choice, and you can either choose to stay stuck in it, or you could choose to rise above it. And you're not going to rise above it tomorrow. And she does talk about that as well, that, you know, she was in her mid-40s still dealing with so much trauma, and rightfully so. But she just kept pushing. So whatever you're working through, just keep working through it. Just keep working towards the light at the end of the tunnel. And remember, the holidays are about celebrating life, celebrating your blessings, celebrating the people around you, the things around you. And I just hope that this is the reminder that you need this week, this year, today, this moment, to just embrace life and all that it is and all that it can be. So thank you for watching. I know this was a little bit more of like a sappier post, but I just think that this book is so important that I needed to share about it. So thank you. Go celebrate with your family and go spend this time working on the life that you want to live, not the past, not the future. Live it right here and right now, and work towards what you want in the future. Okay, so thank you. And if you want some more tips on mindset, go grab my Mindset Mastery Guide. It will be in the link below. So thank you, and I'll talk to you next week. Thanks. Bye.